CO Halito, what up, cuz?
What's happening, cuz? What's happening?
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yes. Peace to everybody in the chat. It's gonna be a 2-part today. I'm gonna bring some genealogy of mine and just some tips that I used. We're going to the genealogy library, and then we have a guest in the background. We'll bring him on to join the discussion. So we're gonna be out of here.
That's Lil Deer. Yeah, Lil Deer. He be coming
His
on.
name is Little Deer. Yeah. So we'll be out of here by 8.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Nephew say he in early. Can see cuz what's going on with your cousin Anthony.
Peace to everybody in the chat. CO Halito family.
Yes. And welcome to those who watching. To all our haters. Keep on hating, bitch.
Yes. We don't give them no shine. We don't give them no shine. This our shit. This is our podcast, and we're gonna roll with the lecture at hand.
Yes.
Haters gonna hate. That just means we doing something right.
Yeah.
Because they feel threatened.
Right. Motherfuckers won't lie and put words in your mouth. I never denied the admixtures. You bitch, you.
Oh yeah. Admixtures. I go by the misnomer Creole, Creolos, and Indigenous because I have several different Indigenous bloodlines in my family. So, all right. So, I'm gonna bring Little D. Where he go? Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna bring him in for the if he wants to talk in a discussion. Peace, Little Deer. I'm about to break down some stuff that I've been doing over the years on my genealogy.
And then he gonna speak about
what's going on, family.
And then he gonna speak. Everything's well, nephew. Everything well. Then he gonna speak about his genealogy and what happened in Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Dealing with his genealogy,
Yeah. So, I've been going to this genealogy library pre.
Hello, that bitch again. Call it private. Let me go ahead on and turn.
Yeah, mute that because we ain't gonna have no distractions. Fuck that. Right. Anyway, so try to make it a little bigger. But anyway, this is me at the genealogy library, and this is the First Families of Louisiana, Volume 1 by who is that? It looks like Glenn B. Something. I don't know. But I've been going to the genealogy library. I've been on FamilySearch.org, Ancestry, all of that. And in the midst of me looking for my family, I ran across some great surprises, which I shared with y'all not last Sunday, but the Sunday before last with my great cousin that is a female chief, Warawansqua Coco Koweski from the Powhatan lineage, now the Pamunkey. So I just found that I'm looking for my people that's close to me. And I just found that as I went up the tree. So that was a nice surprise. But let me get the thing. Oh shit. Oh, they doing it like that today. Okay. Well, we can do that. So now my Slaughter family, what I did was when I went to FamilySearch.org and I made my tree, as I started making my tree, other people that had my ancestor on their tree, it got connected to mine. So this is the Slaughters. Now the Slaughters, he was listed as white, but his wife was mulatto. Now we have some oral tradition stories that she, because they don't have her maiden name, we cannot find her listed. But they had some indentured servants. She was listed as mulatto, but I'm gonna pull her. Okay, so he was listed as white, and his wife is listed as mulatto, and they believe that she is ChitoPa. All she has is a first name. We don't know what her other name is, but there were stories about her. So he had indentured servants. I even found a paper. I couldn't even find it. I have so many pictures in my phone, but he was dealing with the Freedmen's Bureau. And on another document, he had his indentured servants listed. But these are my ancestors, and this man, his bloodline goes back to the Powhatan chiefdom, because my great grandmother times 11, she married his ancestor who was white. So it came down that way. But I'm gonna show some little clips, just some little shots of things that I found. It does that every time. I don't know why it's not letting me do it how I want to do it, but so what I did was I just put a few from Mississippi, a few from Louisiana. Um, there's one from Georgia, but these are books that I looked into at the genealogy library. You can look at books on the city or the state where your ancestor comes from, and then you can look at the records. Like I looked at the marriage records. um, if you could take it off vibrate and just mute it, because we can hear it every time it vibrate. Cause can you hear me? All right. All right. So this was one book that I found for marriage records. And I'll show the book, but where is it? Dang, read that. Cuz can you hear me?
Huh? I'm
Can
putting
you
on mute. That's the asshole keep on calling private.
I know, but this is the thing. Every time he calls, we can hear that vibrating. Thank you. We about to are we gonna have to delete this person? Nah. All right, let me get this one. But this book just showed the estates, and this is in Neshoba, Mississippi. But this is the book that I found. So when you go to the genealogy library, you can get the records of the states and the cities. Somebody wrote a book and documented a lot of people from that city in that time. They don't have the dates on this one, but I looked at a couple that matched the dates of my ancestors. So I'm bringing this up just for tips because one of our guests, he was asking about genealogy. So I just thought that at least one Sunday a month, we'll just go over genealogy tips. I could share some of mine if Cuz Pa want to share some of his, or we have a guest that want to share some of theirs. But this was one of the books that I looked at, the early records of Neshoba County, Mississippi, because we were trying to find the tribe that she was from and anything stating what her maiden name was or her true name before she married this white man. I know that they listed her as mulatto. And so in that book, I found some slaughter information. It took me there. So this is ways that you can find your ancestors, even like with the marriage books. This was Neshoba County, Mississippi Marriage Index from 1877 to 1925. So I found some things in there.
Peace to your nephew. What's going on?
Peace to everybody in the chat. And I'm gonna pull up this family search in a second. I'm just showing just examples. Now, my ancestors that were in Louisiana, uh, some of them were in Caddo country, Caddo Haddacho country, and Natchitoches, Natchitoches country.
Netakote.
Yeah, I've heard many pronunciations of it. But I found
Yeah, that's
some of my
right there
ancestors.
by Highway 49.
Okay. Yeah, I found some of my ancestors in here. Webster Parish, Louisiana marriage records, 1874 to 1901. And so the next time we do this, I'm going to be at the genealogy library. I was supposed to go today, but I had some shit to do. So I'm just sharing what I had in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So just a second. And this is an interesting one too because my ancestors came from this area right here, so they're listed here, and some of them are on the rolls, but like even with the Jalagi, like I have an ancestor on the roll, but it's my cousin. It's not my like grandfather or grandmother. It's my cousin. So some things, they get a little sketch, like after they see that it's not your direct, like you didn't directly come from that person. That's your cousin.
Right.
Even though that's
Right.
still your blood.
Mm-hmm.
But this was interesting. These two areas, my ancestors, especially Cynthia, the one that we couldn't see what her maiden name was. She came from this area. And Kosciuszko, we have some relatives still there, some land still there. And I tried to turn this on, but it wouldn't let me. But yeah, that's just Mississippi, and we looked into Alabama, and my cousins, they did like form this book of my ancestors, and I plan to like add to that and correct some of the information that they had incorrect in the book. So if everybody, everybody watching, if you want to do that for your family, put together a book of your family lineage. Because the crazy thing is, one of my neighbors down the street from me where I grew up, I had no idea that their people came from the area that my mother came from, and they have a whole website. I'm gonna pull it up. They have a whole website that is dedicated to everyone from that town. And this is the book right here. And I discovered this book, and I'm like, oh my God, like right down the street. Even though we're not related, but our ancestors were living in one of these same towns. And so they wrote this book, and they even made this website. Let me find the name. Okay, and so this is my family that had the plantation that they came from South Carolina, so they called the plantation Little Chicora. And so they
You heard that, Wale?
yeah, so me and you had talked about that
Drop the
before,
dagger.
about Chicora. But yeah, so some of my family members are listed on there.
You heard that, Ray Crane? You heard that little deal? Y'all heard that, huh?
Ooh,
Definitely heard it. I got something to add to that too.
what you talking about, Little Chicora?
To the Cato part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got something to add to how your story just said, how you just said when they came from
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and then they named it Little Chicora.
Yeah.
I got a Cato relation to my family. Got a Cato relation to the Trail of Tears too.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Let me see.
I'm gonna send it over to Pa real quick because I don't know. I don't have my laptop, so I'm gonna have to send the document over to Pa.
Okay. All right. Well, we can look at that shortly.
Yeah, send it to my inbox.
So, but that's my next project, is to correct the wrong information that my family have in their little booklet. Because we had a family reunion, and they did some genealogy, but they didn't do a thorough job. The person that they worked with didn't do a thorough job. So that's something that I have to finish. But I just thought that this was interesting how they had a whole website that had my ancestors on it. Yeah. And let me see what else I wanted to share. I'm a pass the talking stick in a minute, but I just wanted to just show the people that not only can you find stuff on FamilySearch.org and Ancestry, but you can actually go to the genealogy library and they have these records. And this one is Bossier Parish, and that's in Caddo country. My family's land is close to one of the mounds.
Yeah, because you got Bossier City that's right there in Shreveport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some more of the Adgers. And you want to do research on like the different derivatives of your ancestors' last name and how it evolved. Like I have some Braziers, then it became Brasher. Um, um, his mother was from Georgia, and I believe his father was from South Carolina. But like right here, they have it Brazier, and then they play around with the spellings. Basically, the people that's documenting your family history, they change the spelling. Uh, so these are just some examples. I just thought I'd throw some of my stuff out there. This was one that I looked into since it's right in that area. I looked into some of those. Yeah. But let's go back. But yeah, that's a part of the little book that they did. This one was a good one too. If these stones could talk, with the Minden Cemetery, because Minden is right in that area too, next to in that area where Bossier, Shreveport, and the little towns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have family maps. They have books that just break down the families that live there, and if they had their own businesses or their lands, they list it. So these are just examples. I'm just using my stuff as an example, and we can bring little deer stuff. Did he send it to you? Even baptismal records too. Baptisms. That's stuff that's documented. So
Yeah. I'm about to open it up now.
okay.
All right, gotta go to share.
Yeah, and some of them came from Ireland too. So yes, I recognize my Creolos ancestry. So I've been doing that for years, and I used to have to argue with people. And they was like, why you claiming that? You need to just claim your indigenous heritage and all of this. And I'm like, I am who I am. Like I can't change my blood. So yeah, and then they talk about like all the
You see it,
derivatives
cuz?
of the name Adger. You talking about me? Yeah, they have these
Is that
different
you
derivatives. What'd you say?
share it, cuz?
I can't hear you.
You talking to me?
I think he was talking to me, but I can't hear what he's saying. It's like he's lagging.
I said, do you see what I'm trying to?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it up here in a second. Yep, I see it. I see it.
All right,
Yeah, these
all
are
right.
different derivatives of the name. Adger. It was Adger, how they changed it. So everybody out there that's, looking at their genealogy or trying to find their ancestors, sometimes it ain't gonna be spelled like how it is today. So just know that it's not. I'm gonna share one more thing and then I'll pull that up.
All right.
Peace to everybody in the chat, people tuning in. We just speaking on genealogy.
Yeah, Red Crane put in the chat. The family Bibles are definitely one way to keep track
Yeah,
of lineage. Pi
yeah,
talks about that
exactly.
all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, we have one. It's one of them big ones. With all the colored pictures in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those are nice.
I my I thought we had an old family Bible, right? Until she come my mama come talking to me. I said, Mama, I need to fill out the rest of this Bible. And she said, that's the new Bible. She said, that's the one Big Mama gave all her kids. She said, I got the original family Bible. So she popped it out. And I said, it's in the case and everything. She got it all in it. I said, Mama, this Bible, I ain't never seen no Bible this old. She said, yeah. She said, Big Mama passed this down to Granny, and Granny passed it down to me. And she said, I'm giving it to you. So
Yeah,
she
my
told me
mom,
I was,
she has one too. And I told her I remember seeing it growing up, but um she has to find it for me because we don't have it at this moment. But it's in her house in the basement, and she got to go through a lot of shit um to find it. But I remember seeing it growing up. Actually, one from my dad's side and then one from my mom's side, and she had her mother's little journal, and it has some um information in there about our ancestors. So that's a good tip. Um, yep, the Bible.
yeah,
That's
the family
definitely
Bible. Now, what I had sent y'all to be able to show that first document that I sent along with the pictures
okay.
is what I received when I was able to uh, get in contact with my Wolf Clan family
Oh, okay.
and my direct bloodline. Um, on that document, if you can pull it up and read
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna pull it up in a minute. I was finishing up what I was talking about and
Oh, okay.
pull
Go
it up.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. This was I'm just showing y'all on my family tree some of it. Um, we get to the Massies, and this is who uh my pal had an ancestor. She married a Massey.
Okay.
And that's how it got to me. And I stumbled up on this while I was looking for my ancestors that are closer to me. So this is it right here.
Oh yeah, you got a deep lineage too.
So this is where I get um Ope Chinkana, the war chief, and one of his wives had my 12 times great grandmother. Well, no, 11 time great grandmother. So this is my family tree for the haters. This is my bloodline. It is from the 1600s. She was 1613, and then the 1500s. So, how many generations can you go back, haters?
You're right. Tell it.
But this was just, the last part that I wanted to show my tree, just some of it, and show the connection. So there y'all have it. So I have the bloodline right to share shit like this. So it's my birthright, my bloodline right. So I'm good. I'm gonna pass the talking stick, and we got till 8 o'clock to speak your speech, and we out of here.
Okay. Well, first off, what's going on, family? Hyoko, Chiatamo to the chat.
Co Halito.
I am Lil Dare of the Iba'a tribe,
Okay.
and my bloodline, I am here in Oklahoma. My bloodline made its way all the way out here via the Trail of Tears. Um, if if it's possible, I'll bring up how the bloodline came to Oklahoma. Uh, Here in a second. We did start out in old Cherokee country, which was Tennessee. Um, the land that's called Tanasi, or that was previously called Tanasi, um, Tahlequah, used to be the Cherokee main town or big town before Chota became the big
Yeah,
town.
because it's the capital. It's the capital now, where
Right.
everything happens for the the celebration of the signing of the Constitution around
Correct.
Labor Day every year. That's where
Yeah.
they go.
They kept it. They kept what was in the old country the same out here. Now, on the document that you can see on the screen, this is where the Trail of Tears will be able to link in with my family.
Okay.
And this is a National Archive document right here to
Hmm.
prove that the Cadoans had mounds that extended from not only northeast Texas, but all the way up into northeast Oklahoma. On that document, it proves,
Got to share
and
that document.
oh, it was just on the screen, right there. On that document, it talks about the Parish Cemetery, which was now changed to the Gadugi Cemetery, which means working together. That cemetery was renamed by my Wolf Clan family members. They are of the Paris lineage, but they decided to make the cemetery a family cemetery, and it ties in actually three cemeteries. This document is proving that there was a mound on the land that was allotted to uh, my fifth great grandmother, Dorcas Harlan. It was a Cadoan mound. And it also shows you that there were new burials within that mound once they removed the the bodies and relocated them to the Doogie Cemetery. Those bodies were my family members. The new bodies that were added to the cemetery were of my family members. Dorcas and Harry buried their kin in that mound. So that'll let you know that from the Trail of Tears, we did keep our old Southeast traditions and ways here in the West once we got over here. Harry
Mm-hmm.
and Dorcas, they came over here. It shows you that the mound was founded in the 1840s. Harry and Dorcas got here in 1838, 36, I'm sorry. They arrived here in 1836 with Jesse Bushyhead, the second chief of the Cherokee tribe at the time. Um, Harry's bloodline is, Dorcas's bloodline traces back to the Wolf clan. Her father is Jesse Bushyhead's first cousin. His name was Chaz Foreman, and he married uh, a woman named Patsy Bushyhead, who was Dorcas's mother. Dorcas is a biblical name. Not only is it biblical, but as far as its indigenous name is spelled Darki. So Dorky would be how it was pronounced in Cherokee. Now I was able to. I don't. I if I can real quick send Pi. Now Pi, if you want to go to those other pictures, it will show where the mound was flooded out. That what's being talked about in this document right here about the old indigenous mound that was in the land. And on the next picture, it will show that is the top topography of the mound right there. And if you go to the next picture, the next picture will show this is my cousin's video footage, or not video footage, but picture of him at the that's the top of the mound. That was the land that my family was allotted back in 1901, and then it got
So somebody
flooded out.
somebody funded the land.
The county flooded the land and made it a state park. So yeah, you know how
Mm,
they do us. You know how they do us. So they flooded
yeah.
out the mound. They removed. That's what their document was saying. Before they flooded out the mound, they identified that as a ancestral burial mound, and they talked about it was at least 100 markers that they were able to find, and 12 of those were marked. They said there were new markers on top of the mound and at the bottom and at the foot of the mound. So that means that Harry and Dorcas, my ancestors, fifth great grandparents, were able to. They used that mound as their own, and then not only that, the original Kitawa tribal council did end up making their burial on top of that land. I mean, not burial, but their council house on top of the mound, the the bigger mound that was in that first picture of the aerial footage. So that even when they got here, that they set up shop, or the Kitawa Tribal Council did set up shop out here in Oklahoma once they relocated out here on tribal land. I have marriage certificates of Dorcas and Harry's marriage in Eufaula, Alabama in 1832. I have also, let me see if I could send this over to Pi. And I gotta give a major shout out to the Baja Tribal Council medicine man, Red Crane Big Thunderbird, because without Red Crane being able, I just started talking to Red Crane. That's my guy. So I just started talking to Red Crane on the phone, and he started plugging in my family tree
Okay.
on my matrilineal side. And once he was able to do that, he was able to show pictures, documents that I was unable to see. Um, Let me see
Now,
if I
did
can
he
see.
get those from like a certain site, or he went somewhere? Like, how did he get those documents?
Oh, Red Crane is in the back chat, right? He's in here right now. So if you want to ask him where he did get these documents, I do see some of these came from the Chronicles of Oklahoma, Fraser, St. Louis Fed.org. I got some of them are from Family Search as well. The Oklahoma Historical Center, or yeah, Oklahoma Historical Center, and then from Trails to Truth. And then there's also a family book that is in a library in Oklahoma City. It's not on PDF, but I have pages from my Wolf Clan cousins
Mm-hmm.
that did get some pages out of the book. Because I guess they had to go to Oklahoma City to be able to get the pages, but there was a physical copy, and it does show that it talks about before they flooded out that land. And the book is called, pull it up. The book is called The Story of People of Ray, Oklahoma, a place we once called home. And it's I'm not sure who the actual author is. I don't. That's not a family member who wrote this book. Somebody else wrote this book and put it into historical records. But it has my entire uh, matrilineal and patrilineal. I mean, my great grandmother's patrilineal matrilineal bloodline in there on record. Now, Red Crane was able to find a lot more for me as far as indigenous records go and my family history. He also found a I can't really talk about that on here actually.
Yeah, that's why I didn't share
That ain't
where
for
my
that. That's
family's
my
land was with that mound. I didn't say it on here because
yeah, but that
it
I
ain't
just
fun.
wanted to make that connection at the Cadoan Mound that I was showing, and then the connection that you had with the Cadoans out here, kind of kind of similar as far as like that journey from South Carolina, like you said, from South Carolina. Theirs was from uh, Tahlequah, Tennessee. So, and then if you want to look up, let me send this over to Paul really quick. I got an ancestor out in Tennessee, and I wanted to send this to. Let me shoot this to Paul real quick. That way, um, and with those indigenous names, I'm sorry for the dead air. With those indigenous names, I did notice a catch-all started to happen within my family. Um, on my matrilineal lineage, it does have for women. I'm noticing, I guess, because they weren't able maybe to pronounce their names or write them correctly. They still have the indigenous names there, but in front of that indigenous name, I would see Nancy. So and so is married to Nancy. Chief so and so is married to Nancy. Chief Cornstalk is married to this Nancy. They're different women, and
Mm-hmm.
the reason why you would know that is because their names are associated to the clans that they came from. So we were able to find a in my one of my I think it was my 11th great grandmother. Her name is Nancy Nancy Ward on paper. Let me go ahead and show you. She was of
Not Nancy Ward.
It's Nancy Ward on paper, but her name, her indigenous name is there. It's Anawaha. I'm trying to find the picture. It's so much documents to go around. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I
This
got
is
some
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 different
stuff on.
devices.
I got some stuff on Nancy Ward. I didn't share it though. But so it is the Nancy Ward.
The Nancy Ward of the Mortuary. My family does track directly back to them. And if
That's
you, I mean, if you got that picture, you'll see. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I didn't dealing with two different devices here.
Send me a picture. All right.
Okay, hold on. Red Crane sent me is something on a different phone, so I'm trying to find. There it is. Here it all is. This is what I've been looking for.
Red
Okay,
Crane. He
so
gonna be getting some calls after this.
hey, Red Crane is the goat, and it's not even close. The reason why I say that is much respect. My auntie, my second mother who raised me, she is Creek by blood. She been trying to prove her. She is in her late 60s. She been trying to prove to these people that she Creek by blood for a very, 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 very long time, and her family story is amazing. And I'm proud to say that I know her, I know most of her families and her elders that I was raised around. And Red Crane helped her find they indigenous roll numbers on the Creek Road, and it did prove that she was Creek by blood. So the stories that she was telling wasn't no lies. And she was in tears just 2 days ago. Uh, and just of joy because now she's able to go help the rest of her family that is out in the country at what we call the country, but it's the red clay, and she's able to go out there and show them or and get help her family get the acknowledgement that they deserve. Um, what I did just send to Pop is a picture of Nancy Montoy in in the old country Tanasi, buried at Tellico.
Okay, so this is different from what is this on the screen?
What's on the screen is the mound out here in
Okay.
Oklahoma. That's the Caddoan Mound out here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the video that's on the screen is of my Wolf Clan cousin Gary. Major shout out to him. And if you want to go and look at there, okay, there we go. So what I just sent that right there is if you want to zoom into it, you can actually see Nancy Ward, and her name is actually printed out on there, but her indigenous name was Aniwaya, and it stood for Wolf Clan or Wolf Family. So if you zoom in on that picture, you can see what she is holding in her hands is a baby wolf. uh, Nancy Ward, she was married Ward, but she was born Mortoy. Uh, she birthed she birthed my great grandfather, 11th great grandfather, Kellenecker the Buck Raven. The Buck ended up marrying into the Deer clan, uh, and that's how my I'm he married a Nancy. I don't know why I can't read. I know why Kaya. I know why Kaya, and she is of the Deer clan. They birthed my 10th great grandmother and a Walika, which means deer head, and that was the first elder or ancient ancestor that I was able to find in my lineage that had uh, an actual deer name attached to her ancestry or attached to her records. I already knew that the family name was deer, but none of them were named deer.
Mm-hmm.
But that is how I was able to find my clan. And then from that, just a few days ago, like I said, Red Crane is the GOAT, and it's not even close. He sent me so many documents that tied in my family directly into the Moitoy family, into the Carpenters, into the Wolf Clan, uh, even you know dating all the way back to the 1500s. That does give a small rundown of my family lineage, and to sum it all up, we have to stop banging on one another as far as what we are, who we know, where we come from. Your story is your own. Uh,
Exactly.
I won't take away from nobody's story, especially if they can prove it to me
Right.
to the T, like you did, Auntie. Like if you can run down your ancestral chart, I could actually do the same thing. Like just how Auntie did was able to trace it back. If I had my laptop right here, I just pull it up on the screen. I don't want to keep on sending screenshots to to Pod because it's gonna get annoying. But
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm good. I'm
uh,
good with it.
but I mean, okay, well I can read this real quick. If people want to know about Nancy, Nancy Moytoy, I got pictures. Also too of Princess. I'm sorry, scrolled away from it. Of one of my ancestors, Princess Corn Blossom, and Chief Atatakula. Atatakula would have been a uncle to me, but he was actually. Let me tell y'all about Atatakula, and this will show that the I don't want to bang on them folk up north, but Atatakula is a half breed Cherokee. He was actually adopted into Wolf Clan and ended up marrying Nancy. He ended up marrying into the Wolf Clan.
Hmm.
He was Algonquin, or y'all know what that means. That tribe with that L up there. But but he was captured. He was actually captured when he was 14 years old by by uh by by his adopted father, uh, Chief White Owl Raven, and that's who captured him when they went to war with the Lenape. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they went to war with the Lenape, and he became on record as half Algonquin, half Cherokee. That would have been one of my my 11th great grandfather's half brothers.
Yeah. So
And
I hope
the
y'all tuning in. The people in the chat, y'all see that we brought receipts of our genealogy.
for sure, we definitely have the receipts. And I don't take this away from anybody because I know y'all got receipts too. So go ahead and bring them. Like anytime that people want to talk, I don't have people out here in Oklahoma, my friends, my family members, spouses, and things like that. And you tell them who you are, and they be like, "Oh, for real? Let me see an Indian card." Like it ain't all about that. Some of us don't even care about the Indian cards and the registries and everything like that. But to be able to trace back and help your family find out who they are, that's really dope. I just literally tied in a 35-year and longer disconnect with a whole different side of the family that I thought didn't exist no more. Like I thought my Wolf Clan side was was damn. It's like they don't exist on paper. But I literally 2 weeks ago, and y'all can pull up the video if you go to the Cherokee Nation website. Or I did actually. I sent it to Pa. Pa got it in Messenger. That video of my family, Harry and Dorcas, being recognized for
Oh, I
just.
I saw that because that's one of my tribes too. So I
Oh,
do
okay.
keep watch. He actually was here for the picnic. We have a Chiefs picnic every couple of years, and I missed that because I had something important to do. And so I did see that footage of them acknowledging and basically recognize where they fucked up at, you know.
Right, right. And now
So that
I wish the story was able to be told by the family a little bit more than it to be told by just the chief, but the acknowledgement of knowing where they fucked up. Because
right,
if he really told the story truthfully, like our they put it in a book already, so it was in a it's in a book in a library that Dorcas we got documents. Dorcas showed up to Liza Bushyhead's funeral, and they put it in the article. Now, why would an enslaved person who was free, got her own freedom, show up to her and show up to her enslaved master's funeral 30, 40 years later? Um, it didn't make no sense. But once I was able to tap in with my cousin Gary, he was able to make it known. He said because Dorcas's father was actually the first cousin to Jesse Bushyhead. So she showed up to that funeral because she was actually family, not because not because not because she was showing up to pay homage to her master or her owner or whatever like that. We got records that show that our family was not treated like that. They did get allotted land. I actually have those documents of the the land allotments where they lived and everything like that. I actually go to the courthouse. Those are the other ways that it's
yes,
tedious. It's tedious. I'm not gonna lie, but I do go to the courthouse with my clan mother once a month, and we go out there and we look up as many documents as we can to uh to try to take back what was already ours, or technically they do things out here. um they restrict the land of the bloodline, but they will leave the freedmen's allotments unrestricted and for purchase by anybody to come and take. If the family loses it, you can't leave it in heirs property. So they do different things out here to still keep you at bay.
yeah, because like my
Also,
family's land in Louisiana, they never left their land. They stayed on their land. We still have it to this day.
and that's good. That's good. If people can find out that some people got heirs property out there and they just don't even know it because they're not they somewhere down the line that link to that relative that owned their land don't didn't they lost it, or they lost that connection. And that's why it's good to go back and hear those oral stories from your grandparents and great aunts and things like that. Go back and look at those. I asked my great uncle, the person that my uncle that raised me, he got all the family photo albums. Go back, pull out them photo albums, look at them names on the back, tie them into your ancestry, because
Exactly.
that's how you gonna be able to find those the missing links that you thought you never had.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
not, y'all know, go ahead and hit up my boy Red Crane.
Yeah, that's why I said he gonna be getting some phone calls after this show. So Red
Yeah,
Crane, peace to you. Get ready.
yeah, man. he definitely got some type of missing keys because he started sending me pictures of family members I didn't even know. He started sending me he started telling, hey, I got family that you can tell, like when they say what they say, what's they science, pa, if you want one drop of Negro blood, you
Yeah,
what they
one drop of Negro blood makes you a Negro, and one drop of Indian blood makes you an
make
Indian. But yet the Indian
oh
was the Negro.
right, okay. So when they say that, I started thinking like, you know how shit come full circle, right? And it
Hmm.
come full circle sometimes within the genetics. And when Red Crane is like, he looking at the picture, he said, "Hey, cuz this person I'm about to send to you look just like you." And he sent me an ancient, and I don't see it, but Red Crane seen something. He said, "Yeah, this your family for sure. I'm shooting it over to you." And he sent me the picture, and I was like, "Okay, I kind of see it a little bit, but not a whole lot." But it those generations do come full circle. I do see on my ancestry records, I see some pictures from high school yearbooks and stuff like that from old ancestors. And I'm like, dang, that look like so and so today. Or I start to realize where certain names come from in my ancestry lineage. Like those names of the men, the juniors and shit like that. That just didn't carry on on the male side of the family. It carried on the women's side of the family as well. It's plenty of Dorcases. It's like four Dorcases in my family, and they skip generations because they want to pay homage to the great grandmama. So
Yeah, they do that in a lot of families. Like my name was almost Hattie because I have several Hatties in my family.
yeah,
But my mama was
yeah,
like, no, her name is
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
they keep the names in the family. Yeah, they recycle the names.
yeah,
yeah.
heavy.
Does anybody in the
Oh, I'm
in
sorry. I'm
the
just
chat
reading
have
the
any
chat.
questions or comments?
Does
Because we're gonna
Nancy
be
Ward
closing
have a
out
brother
in a
named
minute.
David Ward? Let me look. Hold on. Crane sent that to me. So, hey, yeah, definitely. As soon as I scroll up, David Ward or David Wotela. Yeah, so there is a David Ward. I don't know if it's cousin though, but it is a David Ward in this. What's up, family? If you related, if that's in your family tree, what's up, cousin? Because it's definitely a David Ward on it.
Little dear, nephew said, tell us a little more about your tribe, Iba'a.
Okay,
Skip
okay.
that, nephew.
Hey, y'all. Hey, listen. When I came into the Iba'a tribe, I came into the Iba'a tribe about a year and a half ago. Uh, just under the auspices of seeing two families being able to run down they family lineage. And I was like, yo, I'm out here doing the same thing. But what got me more in touch is I realized that we had a common last name, and then that common last name traced back to certain areas in the southeast. Once I was able to find out that once I was able to find out that our family traced back to the southeast, we started to look a little bit deeper into when you start to realize that things like, no disrespect to the tribes, but those five civilized tribes, I'm not gonna name them, but the five civilized tribes here in Oklahoma and those that did have to forcefully migrate out of the southeast, you'll start to realize that the factions that they're under are catch-all. And so I started to realize that my people might be Cherokee on paper, but when you start looking up where they actually come from and what that really was, and you start Tanasi and Tahlequah, and you start Tahlequah, Tala, okay, that kind of that sound a little bit too much like Talagawi. So you start picking up. That's the same thing. It's just Europeanized.
Right.
And once you start taking back those, especially if you know your dialect and your dialects and your linguistics, you can be able to pronounce those things and realize that, oh, they're the same thing. And then when you find out why different tribes called it that or named it that, and they all exactly mean the same thing for different tribes and different languages, you start to realize like, oh, this is where I belong. This is where my people came from, and it's documented too. So that's how I became a part of the Baha'i Tribal Council. And then once I was able to prove my clan lineage, that made it even sweeter. Once you can find that make it even sweeter, and we don't realize it. We already in clans. A lot of us we already in clans. You just gotta know what you're looking for. You want to find your clans, find your search those names. It's in your
Yeah.
people's names. Like literally, you gonna find people. Fox. Why was your last name Fox? That ain't for no coincidence. Or if you was a Freemason, you might have your family might have been some Masons, but they last name might have been Smith or Blacksmith. They just dropped the black.
Yeah.
Things like that. Um, you I know I got people who last name is Raven, not in my family, but just friends. And then they don't even know that this whole time your family been carrying your name, your clan the
Exactly.
whole and they name the whole time. So
Exactly.
it's things like that. Take your name and plug it in and find out what indigenous tribes had your surname.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because you be like, oh well, I'm a Jackson, that name come from a white slave owner. It may not be necessarily true.
Right.
Because if you were Jackson and you cut and your people trace back to Sumter, Sumter, Georgia, guess what you possibly might be? That territory belongs to Seminoles. So it kind of want to dig into things like that. Now you might not be able to find your clan name from that, but if your clan has a surnames attached to them, family surnames is everything. I learned something from my Wolf Clan cousin just last week. He said, "Hey, bro, you are invited out here to come to our Wolf Clan ceremonial grounds." And I said, "Oh, where's that at?" He said, "It's named after the family." So I started. He said, "If you want to find your ceremonial grounds or your clan, go look up their name and find out where their cemetery is buried. I mean, where their cemeteries exist. Usually, by those cemeteries, you're gonna find somebody's headstone that's gonna show their clan on top of that. Hey, I'm just giving out diamonds for everybody that's digging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. We thank y'all for tuning in, everybody in the chat. The comments and questions. We're gonna be closing out in 6 minutes. Like I said, at least once a month, we're gonna have Genealogy Sundays. Um, I'm gonna be going to the genealogy library and traveling to different places um, to do some of this online. And then y'all know we're gonna have special guests periodically. And for Mother's Day, that's coming up shortly. We're gonna do special to commemorate the women chiefs, the matriarchs, the beloved women.
Hey,
So,
wouldn't be here without them.
yep. So y'all stay tuned. Any last short words, cousin Pie?
Yeah. Once again, family Bibles, obituaries, and everything,
Mhm.
newspaper clippings, um, court documents, um, U.S. Census. Yeah. take that with a little grain of salt. You
Yeah.
know,
Record.
yeah. So
Now I did take the U.S. Census with a little grain of salt, like Pa said, and
Yeah, because they changed shit. Because I
they
got an ancestor. They
changed
said
names.
that my ancestor was mulatto. Then on one, it said it was Negro.
Mm-hmm.
One
Oh,
said
I
it
got one
was
said
colored.
white.
Then,
This said
then it was
Negro, the
colored.
next slide.
So y'all gonna see a lot of
'cause you,
interesting stuff as y'all start digging. As y'all start
yeah,
digging.
because you get a lot of people. Oh, show your paperwork that you're related. You say it is this. What you show the census, like motherfucker, you really gonna depend upon that shit? Like
Hey,
they
and
base things
I
off of
set up
lookology.
here. Exactly, it's locology. I set up here for about 5 or 6 years, and like that's why I said I thought my Wolf Clan people didn't exist no more. But and that was based because when I look at a last name that was written down on all of these certain records, they got where one letter made a big difference to me. Like a I and an A made a big difference, and I wouldn't have known that they was the same family or same people if it's not for my Wolf Clan cousin saying, "Hey, bro, if you come out here to the cemetery, it's a whole bunch of your family out here on it in this side of the cemetery." But then he asked me, he said, "Why they out there?" I said, "Because that's Wolf Clan Harlem, and I didn't know that they was that's And then he was like, "Yeah, who is this? Who is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my cousin on this side." That's Bird Clan. I mean not Bird Clan, but that's Deer Clan over here. He was like, well, they buried out here. If you was looking for them, and I'm so it's like to be able to make a connection like that. And I'm telling him that they got some family members that's on that side on Wolf Clan side that's buried in the Deer Clan cemetery that I've been showing up to. So we being able to make those connections or being able to trace back to the tribal cemeteries or what we might have called. I used to ride down the highway out here, and you know how we stay in the and still in racist territory, and the cemeteries might be divided, right? And I used to be like, oh, that's the black side of the cemetery, then the white folk side of the cemetery. And sometimes they might even you go back and look at them records, and it's like, damn, they that's a whole family of indigenous people buried with their people. So it'll be like that, and you'll find it's beautiful too. So tell y'all stories. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So, y'all, we gonna end on that note. We thank y'all for tuning in. Peace to everybody who came on in and who gonna listen later. We'll be back next Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace.
Peace.
Wow. Thank you for
For sure.